What's going on YouTube? Warstorm here, coming at you guys with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about a new support card for Pendulum decks that's actually in King's Court, and that is going to be Pendulum XYZ. Now there are other support cards for the Pendulum mechanic in the set, but this is the main one I'm going to be talking about today. So it's a very interesting card. So as you can see on the screen, it says target 2 cards in your Pendulum zones, special summon both targets, but their effects are negated. And if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, you can Exceed summon one Exceeds monster using only those 2 monsters. But here's the cool part. You can treat the level of one of those monsters as the other monsters, and it of course has a once per turn. Now I'm mostly going to be talking about this in Magicians because that's the primary Pendulum deck. If you're playing one, it's probably what you're playing, especially after the deck got some cards back off the ban list. But obviously this can work in any Pendulum deck because it's searchable via Duelist Alliance, which is the first thing I want to talk about. Is being searchable is pretty cool. It means that you don't have, because it's one of those kind of, since it's an extender, it's not something you necessarily want to max out on, and you don't have to because it's a searchable. You can get away with 1 or even 2 if you so wish. But the nice thing about this in terms of Magicians is what this does for the deck is you can make a lot of really cool things with this card. So for example, in a typical Pendulum Magician combo, you will have something like Oath Dragon and another Magician. You're going to use Oath Dragon's effect to grab the Wisdom Eye back, but if let's say you have another Magician in your hand and you want to keep going, that's where something like Pendulum XYZ can come in. And on top of that, because you don't have to match the levels at all, just the typing and attributes, because obviously there's some monsters that have those requirements. But the cool thing is in Pendulum Magicians is if you use Oath Dragon, have Oath Dragon Magician and another Magician in your other Pendulum zone, you can activate Pendulum XYZ and summon Naruto or other rank 6s, but Naruto's the main one because it can negate spells or traps, which can help solidify your board a little bit from things like such as Forbidden Droplets or Infinite Impermanence, which is pretty dang cool. The fact that you don't have to match the levels means that as long as you have 2 cards in your Pendulum zone and the proper XYZ still sticking in your extra deck, there's a plethora of things you can summon with this. A great example would be something like you could summon a rank 7 such as Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon to then be linked off to bring out Vortex Dragon. If you have a level 7, such as maybe in Magicians it would be something like Dragon Pit or Dragon Color Magician. If you have 2 Magicians and they're both dark attributes, let's say you have Black Fang and Purple Poison, you can actually make Evil Swarm Nightmare, which is a great XYZ in certain formats. A Walking Book of Moon for any special summon is pretty good. It depends on the format, whether it's relevant or not. And one of the main combos I've seen in some Magician builds uses Tornado Dragon, which is good for multiple reasons, because Tornado Dragon 1 gives you a way to pop Double Iris going first, which is great, but it also, if you're playing the Dagda combo that sets Scythe from the deck, and then you can then use Tornado Dragon's last material to pop the Scythe and get the Scythe effect off and lock your opponent out of their extra deck. So it's a really, really flexible card for what it can do in terms of what in Magicians. Because now obviously it can, there's times where you may have all the pieces and you may want to keep things in your Pendulum zones for your time Pendulum Graph, but depending on the hand, I don't see a lot of scenarios where you wouldn't want to use this card unless you absolutely want to, you don't have enough material hand pieces in your hand to keep your time Pendulum Graph live. But if you've used Oath Dragon, you already have another Magician in your hand, so you can afford to activate this. In terms of other Pendulum decks, Metal Foes I think can make use of this, because you obviously have Volflame as a level 7, you have other level 4s within the archetypes, Gold Driver, so you can make either a Tornado Dragon or Abyss Dweller, but also if you summon Volflame, you can make Absolute to link off in Vortex, which is pretty neat. In Dynamis, it can get you to Bahamut Shark and bring out Toad, or get you to Infinity. And in Endymion, it can also, summon Absolute Dragon into Vortex as well. So I really like this card. I think that it has potential to be a staple in some Pendulum decks. If you're playing Duelist Alliance, I don't think it really hurts to play 1 to 2 to see if, but depending on the list, if you are playing Duelist Alliance, I definitely think this card is worth a look. So anyway, guys, that comes to the end of the video today. What you guys think of Pendulum XYZ and down in the comment section down below. Is it as good as I think it is? Is there things I've missed? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Soarstorm signing out.